All right, so today we're going to deep dive into something pretty interesting. I think it's called TATANKA.
TATANKA.
TATANKA,
Yeah.
yeah. And basically, from what I understand, it's this cultural movement to bring together all the different Portuguese-speaking countries.
It is. It
It's
is.
all over the world.
Yeah, that's right. The Lusophone world, as it's
Oh,
called.
Lusophone. Yeah, I like that word.
Yeah.
So,
And through music and heritage and technology, all these different things.
yeah, and it seems like music is like the main thing.
There's one.
Yeah, kind of bringing them together.
It's a really good unifier, I think.
Yeah, because like every single country has its own unique
Absolutely.
lungs
Right.
of music.
Yeah, and all of these Lusophone nations have incredibly rich musical heritages. So Tatanka is kind of tapping into that to try and find those connections and create something.
Yeah, so you've got like places like Portugal,
Mm,
Brazil, Angola,
mm,
Mozambique,
you got it.
all these places that are so different.
Yeah. Very distinct cultures.
Yeah.
But they're all connected by this shared language of music.
Right. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, so, okay, for someone like me who maybe doesn't know too much about those specific genres from all those places, can you kind of break down, like, what are we talking about here?
Of course. What are some of the sounds?
So you got things like fado from Portugal, which is very soulful, very melancholic. It's about longing and saudade.
Saudade, yeah.
Then you've got samba from Brazil, which is just this explosion of energy and rhythm.
Uh-huh.
And then from Angola, you've got kuduro, which is electronic dance music, very, very high energy.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And then marabenta from Mozambique, very rhythmic, very upbeat.
Wow. So they're bringing all these together.
It's a whole mix.
Yeah.
But what Tatanka is doing is they're highlighting how all of these genres can actually work together.
I see.
So it's not just about appreciating these musics separately, but how they can influence each other, how they can kind of blend and create something totally new.
So it's like a real collaboration
It really is.
between artists.
It is, and they do that in lots of different ways. So they'll do live-streamed concerts where you've got musicians from different Lusophone countries performing together.
Wow.
They'll organize these big international music festivals that bring artists from all over the Lusophone world.
Oh.
And they'll even help facilitate collaborative recordings where artists can actually go into the studio and experiment and blend these genres together.
So they're really like putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
They're not just like, let's all appreciate it. They're really like making it happen.
Exactly. They're really actively trying to bridge those gaps
Yeah.
and create these amazing musical partnerships.
Right. And in one of their pamphlets, they have this great quote. It says that music is a universal language that transcends borders, and within the Lusophone world, it serves as a vibrant tapestry of cultural expression.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. I like that.
that's a good one.
It seems like that kind of really sums up their mission, but it's not just established artists, right?
No, not at all.
They're also trying to like bring up,
Yeah, they're really focused on emerging talent.
yeah,
That's a big part of their mission.
like younger artists and stuff.
Absolutely.
Wow, okay.
So they're really nurturing the next generation of Lusophone musicians.
So how do they do that? I mean, what are they doing?
Well, they have these amazing artist residency programs where they'll bring young musicians from different countries together,
Oh, wow.
and these musicians will get to work with these legendary figures in the music scene.
So like a young musician from Angola could end up like working with a fado master from Portugal or something.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's not just about technical skills. It's about fostering these mentorship relationships.
Mhm.
It's about giving these young artists the chance to learn from these masters
I see.
and to share their own stories.
So it's not just like technical skills, but like a real cultural exchange.
It really is.
That's cool.
It's about helping them find their voice.
Yeah, so they're really building like a foundation for the future,
They are.
the Lusophone music.
Exactly. It's about ensuring that these musical traditions not only continue, but that they thrive and evolve.
And I think we were talking earlier about how they're really not afraid to use technology to kind of help make this music more accessible.
Oh, absolutely. They're very forward-thinking in that
So
sense.
yeah, to like a wider audience.
Totally.
Yeah.
They're not just preserving these traditions, they're actively promoting them in the digital age.
Right.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah, so how are they doing that?
Well, they're really savvy with using digital platforms and technology. So, for example, they'll curate these playlists on streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music.
Oh, cool.
To help introduce these artists to a broader audience, they'll host online showcases where people can actually see these artists perform live from wherever they are in the world.
Wow.
And they collaborate with international arts organizations to kind of give Lusophone music a global stage.
So they're really thinking outside the box.
They really are, yeah,
It's like a multi-pronged approach.
definitely. And it's working. They're really helping to raise the profile of Lusophone music.
So they're not just preserving the traditions, they're like helping them evolve.
Right.
Absolutely. And like stay relevant
Exactly.
in the digital age.
You got it.
It's amazing. It's making me think like, is it just music though? Because obviously, like you were talking about earlier, like the Portuguese language itself is a major thread
Yeah.
connecting all these places. And obviously they all share this really complex history.
A long and complex history, yeah.
Yeah. So how does TATANKA kind of address those other aspects beyond just music?
That's a great question, and something we should definitely delve into because they're doing a lot more than just promoting music.
Yeah, so we were talking about all the tech stuff too before.
Yeah.
Like the TATANKA using technology to preserve
Uh-huh.
and share Lusophone heritage.
Huh?
Kind of curious about that. What are they doing exactly?
Oh, they're doing some really interesting stuff.
Okay.
It goes way beyond just streaming concerts.
Uh-huh.
They're doing some really innovative work with AI,
AI? Yeah.
yeah, and digital archiving.
Okay, now that sounds complicated.
It's really cool, though. So basically, think of it this way. They're taking these endangered musical traditions, oral histories, traditional crafts,
Uh-huh.
things that might be lost over time, and they're digitizing them,
Okay.
creating this incredible digital repository of Lusophone culture.
So it's like a race against time, kind of,
Yeah, in a way,
to preserve all this stuff.
to preserve these treasures. But here's where the AI comes in. They're not just storing this information.
Right.
They're using AI to analyze it,
Okay.
to find patterns and connections, and to create new ways of experiencing these traditions.
So it's not just like putting it in a digital library. It's like...
It's not just archiving, it's making it come alive.
Yeah. Okay, I'm having a hard time picturing it. Can you give me an example?
Yeah, so for instance, they have this project where they used AI to analyze centuries-old photo recordings
Wow.
from Portugal.
Okay.
And by mapping the evolution of the genre over time, the AI could actually create new melodies based on those patterns.
So it's like composing new photo music.
It is, yeah, based on the DNA of the old music.
That's wild. So it's not just preserving the past, it's like creating something.
It's building on it, yeah.
New from it.
It's really fascinating stuff.
Wow. And you mentioned these AI-driven storytelling projects too.
Oh, those are amazing.
What are those like?
So they're using AI to weave together historical records, personal narratives, music, imagery, all sorts of things,
Okay.
to create these immersive, interactive stories that transport you to different times and places within the Lusophone world.
Oh, so it's like instead of just reading about history in a textbook, you can like experience it.
Exactly. You could explore colonial Brazil through the eyes of a 17th century musician,
Oh.
or witness the struggle for independence in Mozambique through the words of a freedom fighter.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
It's a whole new level of historical immersion.
Yeah, okay, that's really cool. But like, the Lusophone world has dealt with a lot of tough stuff, colonialism, slavery, social injustices. How does TATANKA kind of handle those more sensitive aspects of history?
Yeah, that's a really important point, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for not shying away from those difficult conversations.
Okay.
They're actually using their platform to create spaces for dialogue, reflection, and understanding.
So it's not just about celebrating the good stuff, it's about acknowledging.
Yeah, it's about the whole picture,
Yeah.
the complexities,
Yeah.
the good and the bad.
Learning from the past.
Absolutely. And they're doing it in a way that's both informative and thought-provoking,
Okay.
encouraging people to engage with these issues on a deeper level.
It seems like their vision goes beyond just music and culture almost, like
Yeah.
creating a movement.
It's about fostering a sense of shared identity
Yeah.
while also recognizing the importance of diversity and inclusion.
Right. So like celebrating their differences, but also...
Exactly. Finding that common ground.
Yeah.
And they're empowering individuals, celebrating their stories, and creating a space where everyone feels like they belong.
This is amazing. I'm wondering, are people outside of the Lusophone world taking notice? Like, is this having an impact globally?
Oh, definitely. They're gaining international recognition for their innovative approach.
Okay.
People are realizing that their methods of cultural preservation and promotion can be applied to other cultures
Right.
and communities as well.
So it's like a model
It's a model.
for other people to follow.
It's a really inspiring example.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest thing they're contributing to the world right now?
They're redefining what it means to preserve and promote culture in the digital age. It's not just about clinging to the past. It's about using technology to make it accessible and relevant
Right.
and engaging for a global audience.
So they're proving that technology can actually be a good thing.
It can be a powerful tool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a threat.
For culture.
Exactly. And by doing so, they're inspiring other cultures to rethink how they engage with and celebrate their own heritage.
This has been so interesting. It feels like we're just scratching the surface
Yeah,
here.
there's so much more to explore.
Yeah. But where do they go from here? Like, what's next for them? What can we learn from all this? I mean, it seems like they've created like this whole blueprint almost
Yeah.
for how we can,
For the future of how we
Yeah.
preserve and share culture.
yeah, in a whole new way.
Yeah, and it's a living, breathing example
Yeah.
of what's possible
Right.
when you combine passion and innovation.
Right. And they really seem to get that culture is really all about people.
Mhm.
Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
It's the human element.
Yeah. And like we were talking about Yara's story earlier,
Oh, yeah.
really shows how they're giving a platform
Yeah.
to all these individual voices, especially people who might have been marginalized in the past.
Yeah, I think Yara's story really speaks to this universal need to belong,
Yeah.
to find your tribe. And TATANKA is creating that space for people
Yeah.
where they can connect with others who share their heritage and their passions.
And it's almost like they're taking all these individual stories and like weaving them together to create this like,
The tapestry,
yeah,
yeah, it's beautiful.
of Lusophone culture.
Absolutely.
Wow. And in a world that feels so divided right now.
Yeah, increasingly fractured.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see an example of people coming together and like
Yeah, building bridges.
celebrating their differences, but also like finding that common ground.
It's really refreshing.
Yeah, their approach feels very timely and necessary,
Oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think, especially now.
It's a reminder that cultural exchange doesn't have to be this zero-sum game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about one culture dominating another. It's about mutual respect and understanding.
Yeah, it's like we can all learn from each other
Exactly.
and like grow together.
And enrich each other's lives.
Yeah, exactly. And they're using technology in a way that makes all of this accessible
Right.
to a global audience.
They're leveraging the power of the digital age.
Yeah, so it's not just like this isolated thing. It's like,
No, it's reaching people all over the world.
yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what can we learn from this as individuals, even if we're not, directly connected to the Lusophone world?
I think their story transcends cultural boundaries.
Okay.
It's a call to action for all of us to be more open to other cultures,
Yeah.
to explore our own cultural roots, and to recognize our shared humanity.
Yeah, like we can all be ambassadors
Yeah.
for our own cultures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Share our traditions, our stories,
Yeah.
our perspectives.
This has been incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, it's really heartwarming.
I feel like we've learned so much about not just music and culture, but also community building
Yeah.
and global connection.
And how to use technology for good.
Right, exactly. It's been great.
It's been a pleasure.
So to all our listeners out there, if you want to learn more about this or experience it for yourself, definitely check out TATANKA online. We'll put some links in the show notes.
Yeah, they've got a great website.
Yeah.
Lots of information there. And you might even be inspired to start something similar
Yeah, that's a great point.
in your own community.
This whole conversation has sparked a lot of ideas for me.
Mine too.
And who knows, maybe we'll deep dive into some of those in the future.
Sounds good.
But for now, we'll leave you with this thought in a world that often feels divided. Let's remember the power of music and art and storytelling to bring us together.
Beautifully said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into TATANKA. Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep celebrating the beauty of human diversity.